Before we start, I have one question for you. What city are you watching from? Write it in the comments, because I might find a terrifying story that happened right in your area. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe, hit the bell, and like this video so you don't miss any more true disturbing stories caught on camera. Trust me, you'll want to watch this one until the very end, because the ending will shock you. It started with a ding-dong, a sound I've heard 1,000 times before, but that night, it froze me in place. I was home alone, around midnight, scrolling through my phone on the couch. It was raining outside, hard enough that I could hear the drops hitting the porch roof. I wasn't expecting anyone, and no one ever came by that late. My doorbell camera lit up my phone screen, and I glanced at it without thinking. At first, I thought it was just some random drunk person or maybe a delivery driver who got the wrong address. But then I saw the figure. A man, tall, motionless, standing completely still under the weak porch light. He wasn't facing the camera directly. His head was tilted down, his hair dripping wet. He didn't move. He just stood there, like he was waiting for something. I tapped the live feed to zoom in. The image sharpened just enough for me to see his mouth moving slightly, whispering maybe. But the audio didn't pick it up. Then he slowly lifted his head toward the lens. His eyes, they looked dead, wide open, almost unblinking. And then he smiled. Not a normal smile, but the kind that stretches too long, too forced, like something pretending to be human. Then, ding-dong again. I froze. My thumb hovered over the microphone button, ready to speak through the camera. But I didn't. Something in my gut told me not to. For almost 30 seconds, he didn't move. Then he took one step closer to the door. Slow, deliberate. The motion triggered the camera again, and a faint red glow reflected in his eyes. And then, he whispered something. The audio was faint, but after replaying it, I could make it out. He said, "I know you're watching." That was enough for me. I backed away from the couch, heart racing. My brain was screaming to call the police, but I couldn't move. It felt like I was being hunted. Then the camera went black, just static. And when the feed returned, the porch was empty. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I checked the footage again, trying to convince myself it was some kind of prank. But something strange happened when I replayed it. At the exact second the man looked up into the camera, there was a flicker. For one frame, the timestamp on the video glitched. It changed from 12:03 a.m. to 12:04 p.m., like it had jumped ahead 12 hours. I don't know much about tech, but I knew that wasn't normal. The feed shouldn't glitch like that. I decided to post the clip to a local Facebook group, asking if anyone recognized the guy. Within an hour, I got a message from someone I didn't know. Her name was Lisa, and her message just said, "Where did this happen?" I told her, "Just a few blocks outside of town." Then she sent another message. "That's the same man who came to my door last week." She sent me her own doorbell footage, and my blood turned cold. Same man, same soaked clothes, same dead stare, but hers was different. He didn't ring the bell. He just stood there watching the camera for over 2 minutes. Lisa told me she'd already reported it to the police, but they didn't find anyone matching his description. When the cops checked her neighborhood cameras, there was no trace of him walking away or arriving. He just appeared on the footage and then vanished. That night, I couldn't stop checking my camera feed every few minutes. Nothing. Until 2:17 a.m., I heard the ding-dong again. My blood went cold. When I looked at my phone, the live feed showed no one there, just the empty porch under the rain. But in the reflection on the wet concrete, I saw it. The faint, distorted outline of a man standing right beside the camera, just outside of its view. I jumped up, turned on every light, and called the police immediately. They arrived within 10 minutes, checked around, but found nothing. No footprints, no signs of anyone being there. But when one of the officers asked to see the footage, the camera app wouldn't open. It crashed every time I tried. He shrugged it off as a tech glitch and left after a quick perimeter check. When they were gone, I tried again, and this time the video opened. It played normally for a few seconds, then cut to a frame I'd never seen before. A still image. Me, sleeping, taken from inside my house. The doorbell camera had captured it, somehow, but the angle wasn't from the door, it was from my bedroom doorway. I nearly dropped my phone. I felt sick. My skin turned cold. That wasn't possible. The only explanation was that someone had been inside, but I never heard a door open, never saw any sign of a break-in. That was the last night I stayed there. I packed a bag and left the next morning, heading to my brother's place across town. I didn't even lock up. I just wanted out. A few days later, I went back with him to grab the rest of my stuff, and when I opened the app one last time, I saw a new video had uploaded automatically to the cloud. Timestamp 3:03 a.m., the night after I left. The video starts with the camera turning on like usual. The porch light flickers, then slowly the man steps into view again. But this time, he's not looking at the door. He's facing the camera, whispering over and over, "You shouldn't have left." The second story comes from a man named Ethan, a night shift security guard from Phoenix. He sent this footage to the same online thread where the first clip was being discussed. His message said, "I think I caught something too, something that shouldn't be possible." When I watched it, I understood why. It begins with a standard suburban street. A clear night. 3:11 a.m., the only sound. Crickets and the faint hum of an air conditioner. Ethan's doorbell camera had activated automatically when motion was detected near the gate. At first, you can see nothing unusual. A delivery van passes by slowly, headlights cutting across the lawn. But then, after the van disappears, a figure steps into the frame. It's a woman, or at least, it looks like one. She's wearing what seems to be a hospital gown, pale blue, torn near the bottom. Her hair's wet, hanging in clumps. She walks barefoot toward the door, head tilted down, her arms dangling loosely by her sides. Ethan told me he was at work at the time, so he only saw the footage the next morning. But his wife, Mara, was home, asleep upstairs. She said she didn't hear the doorbell, yet the clip clearly recorded the sound. Ding-dong, ding-dong, ding-dong. Not once, not twice, but 9 times in a row, each pressed slower, heavier, like someone slamming a hand down on the button. And after the 9th ring, the woman stops. She stands perfectly still for 20 seconds. Then, she turns her head toward the camera. Her face is blurred at first, like motion distortion. But when the frame clears, you can make out something wrong with her expression. Like her mouth is too wide, stretching unnaturally across her cheeks. Her lips part and she says something. The audio is faint, but if you boost the sound, you can hear it. "I need to come in." Her voice sounds broken, like a recording played backward. Then she looks down and starts scratching the door. You can hear her nails dragging on the wood, slow and steady, until they make this high-pitched scraping that almost drowns out everything else. Mara told Ethan she woke up suddenly around that time, feeling like someone was standing by the bed. When she turned on the lamp, no one was there, but their dog, a German shepherd named Max, was growling at the stairs, ears straight up, teeth bared. She tried calling Ethan, but he didn't answer. He was doing rounds and had left his phone in the office. So she went to check the front door. When she reached the hallway, she froze. The doorbell camera feed was still active on the screen near the door, and the woman was still there. Now she wasn't scratching anymore. She was pressing her face against the camera lens, her entire mouth covering the doorbell as if she were trying to speak through it. Mara said the sound that came out wasn't human. It was this deep, distorted moan, like feedback through a broken speaker. She screamed, ran back upstairs, and locked herself in the bedroom. When Ethan got home at 6 a.m., the first thing he saw was the door, covered in long, thin scratches. But the weirdest part? The front steps were spotless. No mud, no footprints, nothing. Just marks on the door and a faint smell of metal, like blood and rust. When they checked the camera later that morning, Ethan noticed something strange in the playback. Between each ding-dong, there's a split-second flash, a single frame where the woman's face changes. Not expression, but identity. In one frame, she looks older. In another, she looks like a child. In one frame, her eyes are gone completely. Just smooth skin where they should be. Frame by frame, she shifts, like she's cycling through faces that aren't hers. Ethan said he almost deleted the footage right then, but curiosity got the better of him. He slowed it down even further and found something terrifying. At exactly 3:14:26, the camera caught a reflection in the window behind her. It wasn't the woman. It was a man, standing behind her, facing the opposite direction. But when Ethan zoomed in, he realized the man had his face. That's when he unplugged the system entirely. But the story doesn't end there. 2 nights later, Ethan's phone buzzed at work. His home security app had uploaded a motion alert. The camera shouldn't have been on. He indeed disconnected it from the Wi-Fi and even pulled out the batteries. But the alert kept repeating, "Motion detected at your front door." He opened the feed. The timestamp said 3:11 a.m. again. The same woman stood there, motionless this time, staring into the lens. Only now her gown was clean, her hair neatly combed. She looked completely normal, except for one thing. She was holding a piece of paper up to the camera. Ethan said it took him a few seconds to make out the writing. In shaky letters it said, "I came in." He called Mara immediately, panicking. She didn't answer. He called the neighbor, who rushed over with a flashlight. When the neighbor got there, the front door was unlocked. Inside, the living room lights were on, and there were wet footprints leading up the stairs. But no one was there. No Mara, no dog. The police were called. They searched the house for hours but found nothing. Not even footprints outside. The only evidence they had was what the neighbor saw last. The doorbell camera still blinking red, recording silently on its own. When the footage was later retrieved by police techs, the final frame showed the camera's lens slowly being covered by something dark, like a hand or fabric. But just before it went black, a faint reflection appeared in the glass. It wasn't the woman this time. It was Ethan, standing inside the house. He swore he hadn't been there. He was still at work, with security logs proving it. But that reflection was unmistakable. And when they pulled the system's internal data, the file name of the last video wasn't Motion Detected MP4. It was titled, "Ethan Looks Home." The third and final story is the one that ties everything together. It was sent anonymously, no name, no return email, just a file titled The Compilation. At first glance, it looked like someone had stitched together random doorbell clips from different houses. But as I watched, I realized every single video had something in common. Each one was recorded at 3:11 a.m. And each one, no matter the city, no matter the model of camera, showed the same face. The first clip starts outside a quiet 2-story house somewhere in Oregon. You can hear the faint hum of crickets, the low wind brushing against the microphone. Then the motion sensor triggers and the camera lights up. A man stands there, expressionless, eyes locked on the lens. He doesn't ring the bell. He just stares for exactly 30 seconds before walking backward into the darkness. Then the feed cuts. The next clip appears, this one from New Mexico. Different porch, different angle, but the same man. Same height, same empty eyes, same blank stare. Only this time, when he steps back, the camera doesn't cut. Instead, it pans slightly, as if someone inside the house is moving it. But the house had no one home. The owners were on vacation. The recording continues for 3 minutes until the doorbell light flickers and dies. Another cut, another clip. This one looked more recent, maybe just weeks ago. The quality was higher, like one of those new models with color night vision. The camera points toward a suburban driveway. Rain is falling. For a few seconds, nothing happens. Then a figure steps into frame. A woman, wearing a hospital gown, her hair wet, her expression hollow. The same woman from Ethan's footage. She walks toward the door, but halfway there she stops and turns sharply, as if she hears something behind her. Then she smiles, slowly, too slowly. And behind her, barely visible in the dark, the same man stands again, watching. I froze the video there. My stomach turned. It wasn't possible. The clips were supposedly from different states, different times, yet they showed the same people. The man from the first story, the woman from the second. And as I scrolled through the rest of the file, it got worse, because the next clip was from a house I recognized. My house. The timestamp, October 3rd, 3:11 a.m. That's the night I left to stay with my brother. In the video, the man stands on my porch again, but this time, he's not alone. The woman is beside him. She's holding something in her hand. A phone. My phone. The same black case with the cracked corner. They both stand silently for nearly a full minute. Then, together, they look directly into the lens and whisper something, perfectly synchronized. "We found you." Then the video ends. I replayed it over and over, trying to find a logical explanation. Maybe someone edited it as a sick prank. Maybe they downloaded my footage and stitched it together. But then I noticed something. The final seconds of that clip, after the whisper, show a reflection in the glass door. It's faint, almost invisible unless you brighten the image. In the reflection, I can see myself, standing inside the house. But that couldn't be real. I wasn't there. I hadn't been home for days. I checked the metadata of the file. The location tag wasn't Oregon or New Mexico or anywhere else. It was my city, my exact address. That's when I noticed the small note included in the anonymous email. Just a single line of text. They appear to people who watch the footage. My heart dropped. I closed the laptop immediately, unplugged it from the wall, and tried to shake off the feeling crawling up my spine. But that night, as I sat in the dark of my brother's guest room, my phone buzzed. A doorbell motion alert, but it wasn't from my house. It was from his. When I opened the live feed, the camera flickered for a moment, then cleared. Someone was standing on the porch. Not a man, not a woman. Both. Their heads tilted toward each other, their faces pale and wet from the rain. The man smiled first, then the woman raised a hand, holding the phone. My phone, the one I'd left behind. And on the screen of that phone I could see myself, watching them. The feed glitched, static filled the frame, and before it cut out, I caught one last thing, a new reflection in the glass door behind them. Not my brother's living room, not the street. It was a camera lens, close, focused, recording. The next morning, the alert history showed no entries, no motion detected, no video saved. But when I checked my cloud storage, one new file had appeared overnight. Its name was just a string of numbers, 311311311.mp4. The thumbnail showed two figures standing side by side, blurred, indistinct, staring directly at whoever was behind the camera. And the file size kept changing, growing by the minute, as if something was still being added to it. I unplugged every camera, every device in the house. But even now, when I check my notifications, I still see that same line appear at random times of the night. Motion detected at your door. And every time it happens, the time is exactly 3:11 a.m. So tell me, before you go, would you ever check your doorbell camera at night? If you heard it ring? Let me know in the comments what you think is really happening in these videos. And if you're watching this alone, turn off your lights and check your front door. You might see them too. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and click the bell, because next week I'll be showing you 3 new doorbell clips that are even darker. And one of them was filmed just days ago.